Hello everyone. We're going to start with integer operations, and our first operation is addition, adding integers. We will review adding integers together. When we add integers, we will start with a simple type. Whenever the signs of the integers are same, we will add them together and keep the sign. So when I look at the example in here, -5 and -8, the signs are exactly the same, and I can add them together. 5 and 8 is 13, and I'll keep the sign as -13. On the positives, I have +5 and a +8 added together is +13. If a sign is not written in front of a number, we will always assume that that number has a positive. So I have a +5 plus +8 equal +13. Now when adding the numbers with different signs, we need to follow a separate rule. When the signs are different, we will take the difference of two numbers, that's subtraction, and keep the sign of the larger, bigger number. When I look at 5 and 8, the signs are different. This is -8, this is -5 and a +8. When I look at these two numbers, since the signs are different, I will take the difference. 5 to 8, difference is 3, and then I'll keep the sign of the bigger number. That's a +8. I will also take these numbers with the operation in front of it. If I don't see a separate sign, I will look at the operation in front of it. A plus is going to indicate a positive sign, minus subtraction is going to indicate a negative sign. So I will look at the operation in front of a number if I do not see a separate sign for it. On the next example, I have a +5 and adding a -8 to it. 5 to 8, difference is 3. Because the 8 is the higher number, I will keep the sign of that number, and the result is going to be -3. Last example starts with a -8, and we're adding a +3 to it. This is positive right here, +3. If I'm adding a +3 to -8, I'll take the difference, 5, keep the sign of the bigger one, negative, because 8 is bigger than 3. That's all about adding. Now let's look into subtracting integers. When we are subtracting integers, we will change the subtraction sign to an addition sign, and we will change the sign of the second number and then follow addition rules. Instead of doing a subtraction, we're going to add a negative. Subtraction is same as adding a negative. We're going to convert the subtraction sign and add a negative instead. Because 8 didn't have any sign in front of it, I can look at the subtraction operation in front, and that looks like a negative sign too. So adding a negative comes from that. I will add a -10 and -8 together. Since the signs are same, I'll add the numbers and keep the sign. On the next example, we are subtracting a negative. If you are subtracting a negative, we're going to convert this subtraction to an addition and change the sign of the second number. So this is going to be same as adding a +3. Adding a +3 changes operation from subtraction to addition, and then change the sign of the second number regardless of it's a negative or positive. Next example, we start with a -8, we don't do anything to it. Our subtraction sign, we need to change that to an addition, and then we're going to change the sign of the second number. Sign of the second number is -3. I'll change that to a +3 right here. And I add -8 and +3 together. Since the signs are different, I take the difference and keep the sign of the bigger number, -5. Our last example, 8 minus negative 3. Subtracting a negative is going to be an addition, because we will change the subtraction to an addition and then change the sign of the second number as well, so that would be a positive 3. 8 plus positive 3 is positive 11. That's it about adding and subtracting integers. Let's look into multiplying and dividing integers as well. When we are multiplying integers, we are going to follow the format of, if the signs are same, answer is positive. If the signs are different, answer is negative. So if I have a positive number multiply with a positive number, then result is going to be positive. If I have a positive times negative, result is going to be negative. Negative times positive, then result is still negative. And if I multiply negative with another negative number, result is going to be positive. When I look at the grouping here, I can see P and N, NPN, and NP, where P's are diagonal and rest is filled with N. This could be a good way to remember how the multiplication rules work. We can also see in here that same signs end up with positive and opposite signs end up with negatives. Some examples: negative 5 times negative 7. And negative times negative is positive, and 5 times 7 is 35. Decide on your sign first and then do your multiplication or division operation. Next example, negative 5 times positive 7. Negative times positive is negative, so I decide on my sign. 5 times 7 is 35, so answer is negative 35. If you were to have 5 times negative 7, positive times negative is negative, and 5 times 7 is 35, so result is going to be negative 35. Same rules will apply with division as well. You can decide on your sign first. Negative divided by negative is positive, and 35 divided by 7 is 5, so final answer is positive 5. Likewise, if you divide positive by positive, is still positive. If you divide negative by positive, your answer is going to be negative, and result is negative 5. Our last example, we divide positive divided by negative, result is negative. 35 divided by 7 is equal to negative 5. That's pretty much it. In the class, we will be working on more examples of integer operations, and please let us know if you have any questions.